Hi, I'm Kris Kuyper in the Fox 26 Weather Center, and let's do an update here on the Southern California wildfires on this Friday evening as they've calmed down a bit, but they are still going in many areas. We're going to talk about the winds, more Santa Ana winds in the forecast through this upcoming weekend, and we'll talk about how that relates to the humidity as well, the very dry conditions across Southern California. Let's start off tonight, though, with a look at a fire temperature product here, a satellite-derived product here, and it shows just how hot the fire is burning here. And you see the Palisades fire, the eastern side of it and the western side of it showing up. The Eaton fire, which is burning actually right around here, not showing up. It's still burning, the Eaton fire, but it's just not a very active and aggressive fire right now. And so it's more of a smoldering fire, so it's really not growing bananas like it was earlier. Unfortunately, the Palisades fire, as you can see here, still looks like it's rapidly going through the Santa Monica Mountains, marching northward here across the Santa Monica Mountains. Now let's talk about the winds. And the winds here on this Friday evening, which have calmed down a bunch, but there are still a little bit of winds out there. Long Beach reporting winds to about 15 miles, gusts to about 15 miles an hour. Sandberg, that's on the Grapevine there, up about 4,000 feet. They've got almost 30-mile-an-hour winds. But everybody else has seen the winds really calm on down. That's great news. And so hopefully I'll give the firefighters a chance to make some get some headway on both those big fires, the Eden fire and the Palisades fire, again, burning down there towards Los Angeles. Now, as far as what's coming our way over the weekend, well, we get a little bit of a break in the winds here for the rest of Friday night and going through a good chunk of the day Saturday. Here we are. We'll stop this here at Saturday, about 5:30 in the evening, and not a whole lot of wind out there. I mean, 16-mile-an-hour gusts in Malibu, that's something, but that's not horrific, and 14-mile-an-hour gusts in Santa Clarita. The rest of the LA Basin, pretty quiet, so pretty good, favorable conditions for the firefighters through that time frame. But it's after that we see one little mini Santa Ana event develop here Saturday night and Sunday morning. We'll stop this model here at about 3 o'clock Sunday morning, and now don't notice the winds. Oh boy, gusting to 43 miles an hour again in Malibu, up to 36-mile-an-hour gusts in Burbank, close to the Eaton fire. Stronger winds in a few other places as well. So we'll see those strong winds really develop again Saturday evening, Saturday night, but they diminish pretty quickly also. It's just kind of a really quick mini Santa Ana event, and then by the time we get towards Sunday evening, quiet winds return to us. So that's certainly good news. A little bit of a flare up in the winds. That's not the best situation, but at least it doesn't last very long. Now let's talk about how dry it is down there. Again, it's rained in other parts of California, just not Southern California. For the rain season now starts October 1st. Since October 1st in Los Angeles there at LAX, 0.03 of an inch of rain. That's it. Normally, there are about 4.5 inches of rain. That is 0.6% of normal. Boy, it's fantastically low, unfortunately. And so you get an idea of just how dry everything is. We can measure just how dry the fuels and the plants and the brush are out there by using something called the energy release component, the ERC here. And we're looking at this map, and what this is showing us here, the blue line here and this green part here, that's where we are right now. That's our current fuel moisture with the trees and the plants, how moist, how wet they are, and how easily they burn. The drier they are, obviously they're going to burn quicker. And the wetter they are, they're going to be more resistant to the fire, at least a little bit. This gray line here is average for this time of the year or so. So we are a lot drier than average, obviously the fuels are for this time of the year. And if you extend this little line out, well, let's take this part here actually and extend it out here in the future. And if we go all the way out to about here, that's where we get to the normal values. So that is August. So that's telling us that our fuels right now are around where the dryness levels of where we typically see them in August. But we're seeing that right now here in January because we're 0.6% of our rain season so far. It's so bone dry out there, and it's just continuing, unfortunately. The fuels, unfortunately, are becoming very receptive to fire growth because they just don't have any moisture left in them. And that's not the only thing. Look at the humidity. This is from Friday afternoon, driest part of the day. 8% humidity in Van Nuys at that time. Single-digit humidity in Ontario and over towards other parts here on Riverside and San Bernardino and other places were a whole lot wetter as well. It's been very dry. These Santa Ana winds, as they descend down here off the desert, they come down in elevation. That's a compressional, that's a heating action, and that acts to dry out the atmosphere, leading to these very dry and low humidities. What that does to the plants and the fuels, it's like negative rainfall. It pulls the moisture from the plants and the trees. They can't hold on to it because the air is so dry. And so now you're having two ways of pulling moisture from the plants here. You're not adding extra rain, and the air is so dry out there, it's actually pulling a little bit of the moisture from the plants as well. So these plants and the trees and the other fuels and brush, They're tinder dry, and unfortunately, they're just ready to go up when we get a little bit of a fire out there. We had these fires that started there earlier on the week. It wasn't an unusual amount of fire starts. These happen all the time. But normally, when the fuels are wetter and the wind is blowing 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, they're able to be handled pretty quickly, or they just don't flare up into anything at all. But when you get these fire starts when the winds are roaring and the humidity is so bone dry, they just, oof, they go just real quickly. Smoke, when the wind is blowing, well, unfortunately that fuels the fire. It does disperse the smoke rather nicely. As we see the winds calm down here Friday night and go into Saturday afternoon, well, you notice a lot of smoke hanging around the fires here towards the Palisades fire and towards the Eden fire. Then we see the winds kick up there Saturday night and whoosh, the smoke goes away. So it's bad for the fire growth, but at least it cleans the air quality up when I'm talking about the winds here coming our way. And then Sunday afternoon, we see the winds calm down and the smoke returns to places like Pasadena, Burbank, Glendale, and towards Malibu, Santa Monica, and Pacific Palisades, of course, as well. Okay, now let's take a deeper look here, a little more of a long-range look at the winds going our way to early next week. And unfortunately, another Santa Ana wind event is on the horizon here. By Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock, the other model that shows the numbers here, that doesn't go that far out in time. But this one shows us at least to get an idea here that we're going to see some more strong and gusty winds again developing Tuesday afternoon. They do diminish there by Wednesday evening, but it looks like Tuesday and early Wednesday could see round 2 of some gusty winds, not as strong as they were at the outset of this outbreak here, but still some pretty gusty winds coming our way Saturday night and again Tuesday and Wednesday again. So let's hope the firefighters can get some good headway when the winds are calm for a little while at least.